Okay, so we had a little problem with the entity framework. We basically we've created this structure of the database on the server. So we have a member, and the member has a direct relationship, 0 or 1 to many relationship with requests. We have sale table and a store table, and in our member table, and we have a request table. So over here in our requests, the SMS entities is just this database connected to the application. There's really no code for that, except for in the app.config where we're saying SMS entities is this. So we're going to come through and we're going to take the DB and drill down into its database and log and use a delegate basically. So that's basically calling an anonymous function. And if you put that in there and do control period, which it won't work now, it'll ask you if it wants to stub out or cogen that function. So we have the function down here, and it takes in a string, and this is called object obj. So I created a stream writer where I can dump out everything that's happening to the database. So all the database internal logging, I have now extracted that out and been able to put that into a text file so I can see what's happening when things aren't working like they're supposed to be working. Because that was the problem. It was crashing on me, and I couldn't tell I was crashing. Because with the Entity Framework, it's doing all the lifting in the background, so you don't see anything. So here it's going to go through and say, okay, well, take the members table and get me the first or default instance of um, where the user ID is coming from the request user ID. It says it's been modified outside of the source editor. I don't know what's modified it, but okay. Oh, it took my, that's interesting. Oh, that's fine. We're just going to copy that, put that here, and just resolve that back to the annotation. Request do the same? Sure did the same thing to me. Wow. Let that go red. We'll resolve that one. And we'll put the same thing on our timestamp. Wow, something outside just modified that, and I don't know what did it, but let me close these other Visual Studios. Nope. And let me close this Visual Studio. Nope. Okay, so nothing else should be able to get a hold of those guys. Very interesting. So the problem I was getting, sorry to get distracted, I kept getting the error message that says, I don't know what's going on here. Conversion of datetime 2. So I'm going to go ahead and make these datetime 2. So at least I know that these are datetime 2. Because it just really says system datetime. So for that, now in the members table, we're going to open the table definition. This may take a second because Camtasia is going. But we'll see. If not, we'll go over to SSMS, which might be quicker actually. This is an Azure database, so it's not probably not even in this country. And yeah, that's going to take a minute, so we'll just come over here and bring up SSMS, and we'll just go to members, columns, and I made that a datetime 2, and under requests, made the datetime 2 and datetime 2. So, okay, that's fine. Close. We don't need you. So now what's going to happen is, that's our diagram of our database tables that we have. And that's probably what updated it, was that guy right there. No, I don't want to save him. I'll leave everybody the way they are. Update members, save him. Request saved, save. Okay, so this was basically dying out on me. So now that I know I have a datetime 2 here, and I have a datetime 2 remotely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my browser, put it in this window, and when I come to Visual Studio and fire up the this, which is ASP.NET Web Application, Web API, and then it's just the helper for it. So we're going to fire this up. And what we're going to do is going to go to API. And we're going to come down here to our Alexa, because that's what we are working with. And we're going to take this string here. And actually, first we're going to copy this and put him into a new window. And then we're going to take this string here, copy it, and put it right here, and run that. It's going to say the request resource does not support the method get. That's fine. We're going to send it a post. So what we're going to take this snippet here, and we're going to go over to a program called Telerik Fiddler, and we're going to remove all of these, and we're going to put that URL in here, and we're going to make it a post, and then we're going to manually add content type equals application/JSON so that it knows that it can do something. We're going to paste in this code that was here into the body, and then we're going to actually we'll just plug in some values here. Just plug in some stuff for it. So Visual Studio is running. There's a breakpoint here. So when we take Telerik Fiddler and fire off that URL, it's going to jump into our Visual Studio into debug mode, which is what we want. And then from here, we can step through this code. And we have no IDs here. So 1234 is our request ID. So it's going to take the database table and say, take the database.members table, give me the first instance or the default instance of a member that has the user ID of 1234. I can take this guy and come out of him. Okay, sorry, when I hit F10 to step over this, that's also the keyboard shortcut that Camtasia has taken over. So we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, and we can just do it like this. We'll do step over. So there's no member. It did not return a member. So it's going to create a new member with the information from the JSON. And it's going to add that request to the database context object. And then what would happen is when we get to here, it was just going down to here and crashing because it didn't know what day 2 was. So once I got that straightened out, and then that logging is going to help me figure out probably some more problems that I'm going to have. Now we can step over this guy, and it took our changes, so we can just run this through, and then we can stop him and go look and see if and here we see don't have a user ID, we'll have to try another response. Um, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 put in the JSON. Request count was 1. Last request date, created date, those are good. ID, member, ID 0, that's that, 0, 0. Session, I made that 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. There's a session in here somewhere. Session ID 1, 2, 3, 4. App ID, request ID, user ID, timestamp. I don't know that I like that, but we're not using any slots, intents. That's going to be the name of the sentence that you say to Alexa. We'll get to that later. Version type, reason, date created. Cool. Okay, so we'll come back and get some more videos as we progress through some of this.